Hello, hello, all. We're going to do a little Sunday fly tying, probably more like it. I'm going to start off. We're going to tie some lures. We are going to tie some nail weights. We're going to tie some treble hooks and get a bunch of juicy stuff ready to go for the spring. So, a buddy of mine, Mike, asked if I could tie up some feather flies on treble hooks for him because those give a little extra action, a little extra visibility when you are if you want to put these on the top water. I like putting feathers or a little dangly whatever off the back of a top water. Give a little extra presentation. So that's what we're going to start with. Let's go. We'll just get some feathers going. Got a whole box of feathers. We are going to go with something a little bit soft and plumy. That way, there's some nice action in the water. Later on, we can tie up some. We got rubber skirting and all kinds of good stuff. All right, so when you have a feather like this, you've got real soft stuff and you got this stiffer stuff. So we're not going to use this for what we're doing right now. So I'm going to cut that whole edge of that feather off. We can use that for something else later. Now you'll have a big old base of that feather. It's gigantic. We don't need it to be that big, so we are going to peel back a little of that feather and get to a little thinner spot on the stem of that feather. We're going to leave all this. Let's get in my mouth. Stuff's going to be everywhere. I'm going to leave geez, that was a wrong thing to do, is peel that off while the heater's going down here. All right, we're going to cut this off and get to tying. All right. Feathers going everywhere. We're going to start our tie. Now, treble hooks can be a little tricky. They're a little bit more difficult than your standard hook because you want most of the material to be close to the hook here, just to hide the hook. All right, so we're going to start our thread, work it up to just about the eye. That's about good. Snippy snip. Let's bury that thread. Bury that thread. Look, I got the Yeti going today. ASMR fly tying. That's only for YouTube. If you're watching this on Instagram, we're over on YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube, we're over on Instagram too. All right. The challenge with doing treble hooks is not breaking your string while you're tying these on. All right. You know what? I am actually going to flip this treble around. There we go. All right. So essentially, with the treble hook, I'm tying up one channel of the three prongs. So I'm laying the feather kind of like in one of the channels there. So we're going to lay it down flat. There we go. We're going to trim off the excess of that feather in just a minute. And I like to put a little premature whip finish on that feather hook just because I don't like those bad boys coming off. We're also going to dab a little bit of glue on there. A little bit of glue. Let's see. Where did I set my glue? Here we go. We're going to go fast on this glue. And by fast, I mean we're going to use some UV glue. Make sure that is tied on there. Hit it with the UV. What's up, Cole? What's going on? Cure that out. I'm using a 210 denier thread if anyone else is fly tying or has any interest in what I'm using. All right, we're going to give that stem a little trimmy trim. I like to glue it first so the stem doesn't move or rotate after or when I'm trying to put the glue on. All right. We're going to start that thread once again up near the eye. I'm going to build a little bit ahead. I just want to bury that feather stem because I don't want it to get hung up on anything when I'm fishing. There we go. Trim a trim. Now, honestly, you can dress these up as much or as little as you want, but I think just a single feather stem with some of the downy kind of feathers on it is pretty solid. You don't have to dress up a treble hook too much because, I mean, the treble hooks, you're not trying to hide much there. Let's get 1, 2, 3, fourth on that. Give it a trim. Gonna hit that. I don't need this to cure right away, so I'm gonna hit it with a little bit of the old magic clear nail polish. Too much. There you go. And that, my friends, is how you dress up a treble hook. And you can throw that on really anything you're using treble hook on. I probably wouldn't throw it on a crankbait. I really like to use these on topwater lures just because when you give the topwater, the popper, a pause, you've got something else sitting down in the water. I just grabbed all that freaking nail polish like a ding dong. I don't have a paper towel. Yes, I do. All right. Set that aside and we will get to our next one. Oh, look, we've got a bot in here already. All right. Let's tie up a bass fly. Let's get us a bass lure going. So I like to get my flies from Allen's Supply. They got really, really good fly tying stuff. All right, I'm going to use a number 1 bass bug. It's kind of like a straight shank. You can see that. Kind of like a straight shank with just a little bit of, kind of like an EWG, but with almost like a hammer hook style. Anyway, they call it the bass bug number. This is the number 1 size. We are going to dress this bad boy up. Israel Bookman fishing was going on. I'm going to start down by the eye of the hook. Let's just build up a little body there. That's about good. Once you get about 15, 20 wraps, I like to go ahead and trim it off then. Continue just to bury that. Now for bass bugs, what I like to do is get to about maybe where the hook point gets. So as you're lining it up, you want to get that thread. For this tie anyway, I'm going straight down to the hook point. You're just building up some body of thread here so you can have good grip. All right, now I'm going to work it back to about, let's say a half an inch, maybe just under a half an inch from the eye. And We are going to add a little, just going to show you guys this little eye right there. So it's a set of eyeballs. You can see. And when you tie these on, I usually just do a couple wraps in each direction, and then from then on, it's like a figure eight. Give it a little rotation, make sure it's on there well. All right. Want to make sure that eyeball is straight. And once we see it straight, I'm going to give it a little dab of glue there just to make sure everything is set. There we go. Hitting with the light. Couple seconds of UV and he is good to go. Now we got to start deciding what are we going to dress this guy up with. Let's see. All right, I think let's go. You know what? Let's go something a little colorful. We got a green feather here. I think I'm going to pick one that's a little straighter though. There we go. Nice little plume there. All right, and I'm going to come off the back. I'm going to get rid of most of this stuff. So when you're doing the back of a fly, I like to use the the straight feathers there. So we're going to take all this plumage off. So I am going to peel it back because we want the stem, but we don't want all this extra plumage, right? I'm going to do this over the garbage can so I don't have feathers in my mouth again. Let's see, let me size that up. Yeah. All right. So you just want a little touch there. You can see, maybe you can see. Let's see how much stem I left there, and we are going to trim some of that off. So we are going to work our thread back towards the back a little bit, a little too far over. Yeah, Steve, I did add a weight. So this is just a little weight. These come in all different sizes, these eyeballs. So it is these little eye weights. And they come in different size weights. I fish Skinny Creek, so I don't go too heavy on these. Because sometimes I like them to work up in the column, and then if I want them to sink, I'll just give them some time to sink down. But yeah, that's a little bit of weight, And I typically do not fish, and the reason I add weights to most of my bass stuff is I don't typically fish with a fly setup. I fish with spinning gear, so I need a little bit of weight because I usually fish with either 4 or 6 pound test. So that's my setup. That's my go-to. And the important thing here is making sure we get this stem just to lie as straight as possible before we really crank some pressure on it. There we go. And I'm going to add a second guy. Let's see if we can get something that's paired up about the same size. It's fine. There we go. There we go. Yeah, so we're going to put one on each side here. I've got entirely too much slack on this. Here we go. Here we go. All right, we're getting our second second string. This is basically you're just putting one feather on each side. I got a fun challenge I'm doing here soon. I went to a bunch of different like dollar stores, Dollar General, Dollar Tree, Hobby Lobby. I went to a bunch of different places and I got random stuff that's typically not fly tying. I purposely saw feathers and I was like, I'm not going to buy feathers just because that's what you're used to tying flies with. So I decided I would try to challenge myself and tie some flies with some discount material. Thought that would be a fun challenge. All right, now we essentially have the tail for this done. Now we got to think of some body material. So let's see what we got. Let's see, what do we want? I think we're going to go with, what are we going to go with? There we go. All right. Some of this little string here. So this string is basically, we're going to build up some body and some color contrast with this. How long do we need? Let's go about there. So we got about maybe a 8-9 inch section. So we're going to start that tie just in front of our feathers. Right, and then once we've got that tied on pretty well, I'm just going to advance this all the way up towards the eye. I would probably, let's keep it right by the eye. All right, let's get our little holder here, keep this out of the way. Then we are going to take this string and we are going to basically just make a barber pole kind of looping of it around and around and around. And you can see this is going to be our bug body. So this is the body of the fly, the bug that we're trying to imitate. I don't know what bug this is, but it's got wings. We're going to build up the middle a bit, just like a regular bug. It kind of tapers off. What up, Mike? Hey, Mike, if you missed it, I'll show you here in a second. I tied something for you. And also, who dey, son? Going to the AFC Championship? How about it? Who thought this day would come? All right, you guys can kind of see where we're going here. Get a couple good ties going behind the eyes. I really want that green body to stay on well. Give it a couple figure eights around the eyes again. All right, now let's see. What do we want to do? I think I want this bug to have a couple legs coming off. So we are going to take a couple pieces of rubber skirting, just like you'd find on a jig. Those are going to be old buggy boy's legs. We're going to start him upside down. All right, let's work the string right about to the middle. All right, so what I'm doing is basically taking taking a loop. You can see it against my neon shirt there. I'm just taking a loop of this like 4-inch section, and I'm doing a loop towards the middle of the body and then tied it on. So I've got two legs to the front, 2 legs to the back. Try to get these legs as close to each other as possible. There we go. And then we're just going to tie down some excess here. I'm going to go ahead and give this a whip knot. No, actually, you know what? I'm not. I think I'm going to go and dress up the front in front of the eye a touch there. So let's advance this up just a little bit. Oops, I grabbed one of the legs. Don't want to do that. There we go. All right, let's get up to the head of the bait here. Now, we definitely don't want to keep those legs that long. We are just going to give him maybe just a 1/2 inch under the hook shank. Look at that. Hey, looking spicy. Spicy. All right, Mike, before you jump, if you jump, in case you jump off, I know you wanted treble hooks with feathers on them, so I got you one going. So basically, it's just a, I think it's a size 3. It's basically like a crankbait style or a topwater sized treble hook, because I know it's kind of what you're after. So I got a feather. If you want something a little spicier, we can do some flashing. We can do some rubber legs, whatever you desire, sir. All right, what are we going to tie in front of this? Let's see. You know what? Let's give this bad boy a little flair. Let's give him some spice. What do we want to do? Let's see. Let me find. Gotta find the perfect feather, the perfect sized feather that I know is gonna jazz this up. Now, picking feathers, I bought a bunch of discount feathers, and so what you're looking for when you spice up the front edge of this for the hackles is you want this part of the feather here, but you want the thinnest spine you can possibly find, right? And then we're going to take all the fluff, all the down off of that. All right, so now you've got a feather that just is basically like that, right? You get a little stem on it. Now we're going to tie that stem on. We will be trimming a lot of the excess stem off of this bad boy. All right, we try to work the thread as close to the eyeball as we can without getting anything caught up. If you do, it's not that big a deal. All right. Now I got the stem worked on there. Get some of this feather out of the way. Work it back towards the eye because that's where we're going to tie on. All right. Now you're going to get out what's called your hackle pliers. Where did they go? These little bad boys, just like a little pincher tool. Just basically helps you grip. You can do this by hand. Sometimes I like doing it by hand a little bit better. All right, so you grab your hackle pliers and then you just basically rotate. You can see what happens as you rotate. Get this out of the way. Rotate this feather around the head here. Oh, my stem came loose. Did not get him secured on. Amateur hours. Trying not to get these my rubber legs caught up in the mix. All right. Good. Trim this excess off. There we go. Now we can start making this hackle spin. Do that. I am fumble fingers today, man. That's all right. Make it work. So we are just securing this hackle feather down right here at the eye. Let's go ahead and give this guy some finishing knots. 2, 3, 4. Man, talk about fumble fingers today. Struggle bus. You know what? You know what I need? What, you know what I probably don't need, but you know what I need? I've got, there we go. Okay. Trim that off. Now, get our toothbrush out. Kind of separate some of that feather. And give them a little bit of a haircut. Now, I may look like a scraggly mess right here, but man, when it hits the water, it almost acts like kind of like a jig where it's going to hide the hook a little bit better. There we go. Let's hit them with a little UV glue and call this bad boy done. Probably could use a little bit of a haircut, but he's going to catch fish, trust me. Cure him out. All right, what do you think, Mike? Heck yeah, something. I want the back hooks done for a certain lure. I'm on it. Yeah, if you don't want, I just got a bunch of random treble hooks. If you want something you want to bring me, I will certainly tie it up for you. All right, here we go. Got him a little tail. Got him some hackles. Got him a fluorescent chartreuse body. And we've got him weighted down with some eyes to make sure he gets down in the water column. He is going to catch some bass for sure. Check him out. And that's the cool thing about fly tying. Like, you go on YouTube and Instagram and all, you see these guys who are like pro fly tyers. You don't have to be a pro fly tyer to tie something that's going to catch fish. You want to make sure you use something that's attractive looking, and you want to make sure your knots are good, and maybe use some glue. Once you learn how to use this tool, the whip finisher, and that's why I thought that challenge would go into dollar stores and tying up random stuff would be so fun, because really you can tie with almost anything and you're going to catch fish with it. I mean, I've done it in the past. Look at this. This is a $1 feather duster from the dollar store. And you can take these little things off and tie those as legs. Let's see. I bought fake flowers. So like those vinyl fake flowers are like $1 for a bunch. They never disintegrate. They're they're perfect for tying. They've actually got little metal, like bendable metal wire in it. If you've ever grabbed like silk flowers, perfect. Ooh, Brian, the creek crawler. Where did I put those? I put those somewhere not with my good feathers, or not with my crust feathers. He got me some like, were they duck feathers? What were those? I think they were your duck hunting feathers. I'm attached to my headphones. I don't have those. Those I'm gonna make like some premium lures with. I just don't want to jack around and make some BS. But yes, I've neglected my fly tying for far too long, and I want to get back into it and do some regular fly tying videos with you guys. So I will have those. I will have those coming up soon, sir. All right, something fun that I've tied on a few lives that I want to revisit with you guys. And I love this because this is a lure. Let me see. There we go. Look at the new bass flag we got in the background. Can you guys see that? It's like a black and white American flag with a big old largie jumping out. All right. This is probably the easiest thing to tie and inexpensive. So if you're wanting to learn how to like tie knots and like just get into fly tying, go to a hardware store, spend like $2.99 or $3.99 on these. It's ring shank nails. You get like 358. You'll never get to the end of these. And the reason you want ring shank nails is because they've got, and you probably can't see it on these cameras, but they've got little ridges on them. So when you stick them in your soft plastic, like a Senko worm, they kind of stay in there. It's for kind of like a Nico rig. But I know like companies like VMC charge $3 for like 2 of these. These are less than a penny if you buy them for $3. Skirting material you buy for like $5 a bunch. You get hundreds. So these are less than a penny a piece. So really it's a 1 cent kind of add-on. I'm going to show you guys how to do these. Super simple, super simple. This is a big nail, so I got to increase my jaw size here on my vise. All right, super easy. Get your nail in there. Take just two strands of the skirting. You can use as much as you want. Oh, I think I need thread. All right. Don't need a ton of thread for this either. It's going to maybe like 10 wraps up, 10 wraps back. Give that a trim. You don't even need to glue this stuff either. All right, just take your skirting material and just put it halfway on the nail head there. Give it a loose couple, 2-3 wraps, right? And then just pinch all the material and come back to where you ended the thread body, or the end of where you stopped threading. And then you can start cranking down. The reason you don't want to start cranking down right away is that this is thin thread, and this is a rubber material, so if you crank down too hard right at the beginning, you could break it and you can pinch it off. It may still stay there if you get a good amount of body on the thread. So I just basically wrap until I can mostly see the rubber disappear underneath of it, and then just a couple whip finishes. 2, 3, 4, and that is it. You don't need glue, you don't need anything. Tie that in about, what we do, 30 seconds. And so, let me show you. And so traditionally, you can put this in whatever you want. O'Bannon Creek 2, what's going on, sir? You take a Senko. This is the Cast Cray 6 stick. Awesome, by the way. And you just Nico rig it through one end. And so when you, oh man, I've stuck that through sideways. So when you are wacky rigging it down the middle, you have one side that's off weight just a touch. So you'll get more of a action when it flutters down instead of just a kind of balanced flutter. Now you'll find on stick baits that have kind of a tapered end, they're made that way so you can have a little bit of flutter action, but this gives it even more wild action going down there. So you can throw an O-ring on there if you want it to really stay on, but that gives a little more action. You can even double both sides and make it really look juicy. And if you lose these, they fly out. You wasted 1 penny, and you can make these in like 30 seconds. If you really rush, and you can bust these out in like 15 seconds a piece. So yeah, super awesome, easy, inexpensive way to save money versus like those VMCs or whoever else makes those. All right, let's do another treble hook. So Mike, if you're still on here, I was going to do one with a feather. So we've got a feather treble hook like this, just jazzed up for like a popper or whatever you want. I want to do also some skirting on here. Let's get that vise size down a touch. A little more. There we go. All right. So we'll do a little skirting. I'll let you guys pick here. All right, we can go black and blue. Chartreuse. Oh, that matches my shirt. Can't even see it. Chartreuse. Or like a green pumpkin fleck. Y'all call it out. What do you want to do? Off the hook jigs. Thanks for joining, sir. We are tying flies today. Thank you. You like that? It was like 20 bucks. Mike says chartreuse. This was going to be for him, so we're going to go chartreuse. Mike, do you want this beefed up or do you want it low key? Low key, I'd say like 2 or 3 strands. Beefed up, 7 or 8 strands. What are you thinking, Mike? How jazzed up do you want this bad boy? These are, I don't know, 4.5, 5-inch strands. So if you're going to half them, we can trim them down at however much you want. Maybe about 2 inches on each side. Beef up. Mike says beef it up. There we go. We're going to take about half of this strand here. Maybe 3/4 of it. There we go. Beefed up. All right, let's start off our thread. All right, if you guys are getting into fly tying, let me go over some basics, some super basics. I'm a basic fly tyer. I am by no means super experienced with this. I just love doing it because it's a creative way. You can make anything you want. All right, so you got your thread, and this is called a bobbin, almost like a sewing machine. So you just thread it up through and out there. So what you do is you kind of lay it down, and then you're going to work the body of the thread back over the tag end. And to secure it on there, I usually do 10, 15 wraps. And I'm going to come back towards where I started. And that's basically on there, super tight. And as you tie the rest of the fly, you just trim off your excess. It will secure it on there. And then what finishes the fly is what's called our whip finisher. It's basically how to tie a knot while not taking your thread off of the spool, a little whip finisher. All right, so we are tying a treble hook with a bunch of chartreuse or rubber legs. Here we go. All right, so I'm gonna half that. Hopefully these don't get squirrely on me. Let's see. Let's do this. All right, now remember with rubber legs, you gotta go on a little bit gentle at first so you don't cut into this rubber here. So we're gonna go 1 loose, 2 loose, 3, 4, okay. And then I'm going to take these and just kind of peel them back towards the back. And these little, I found these things at a dollar store, these little dollar hair clips. And I just kind of clip those, keep them out of the way. It's a perfect little, saw that trick with one of the good fly tying guys did that. And I was like, that is genius. All right. Now, once I've got a good body on here, that's when I really try to crank down on a little bit, just to give it some pressure, so there's no slack, no loose legs hanging out anywhere. Let's see if I can grab this material. Let me rotate that and get this material out of the way. CBG, what's going on, man? Man, I haven't talked to you in what feels like a minute. I haven't done lives in a minute, so I haven't connected with all you guys. What's been going on, man? Y'all got ice out there, and you're in Kansas, right? Back of the Whopper Plopper 90. Ooh, I don't know if that would mess up the action of a Whopper Plopper, dude. You have to try it out. All right, got a good body on there. Now we're going to give it some whip finish knots. 2, 3. Oops, don't catch that leg. 4, 5. All right, unclip that. Trim. Now I am going to glue this just to keep everything kind of sitting nice. A couple dabs of this UV glue, and then we're going to hit it with the UV light to activate the glue. And then we will trim the skirting because we're still connected down here. So I will leave it as long as it possibly can be, Mike, and then you can retrim it down to whatever you feel. And check that out. I'll do YouTube first. There you go. Oh yeah, Instagrams. There you go. So that's a nice treble hook, all spiced up. You can trim that down as much as you like. Treble hook to hang off of the back of a popper, or Mike looks like he's going to try it off the back of a Whopper Plopper. I don't know if that would get caught up or not. I wouldn't think so. It's hanging down low. Try it out, see how it works. There you go. Let's see. What do we want to do next? Let's tie up. Oh, actually, hang on. Let's check. Have I hit 2000 yet? I was hanging at like 1998, 1997. Oh, son, we did it. Look at that. Can you see it? I don't know if it's going to focus. Can you see it? You can't see it. We hit it, 2000. Yeah. And with that, I want to show you guys something. If you watch this channel at all, you know that Paul from Cincy Fish Dudes is my OG homie, my OG fishing buddy. And he made me something absolutely incredible. It is a keychain, a lipless crankbait keychain with Matt's Fishing Mission custom design on it. Check it out. Matt's Fishing Mission. And he's got the Cincy Fish Dudes logo with his initials as the designer. That's baller. And I was like, dude, am I allowed to put hooks on this and fish with it? He said he didn't weight it, so probably not going to fish very well, but this is super cool. That is so awesome. And check this out. Check this out. This is how much of an awesome, how much Paul thinks about stuff. I got a certificate of authenticity, a one-of-one design collector's edition for Matt's Fishing Mission. And it says, this special edition lipless crankbait keychain was hand carved from authentic Home Depot poplar by amateur hour craftsman Paul Deneau from Cincy Fish Dudes. This one-of-a-kind, made-in-USA keychain commemorates Matt's Fishin' Mission's 2,000 subscriber mark, milestone on YouTube. The tie-on eye was hand-twisted from a T302-304 Pennsylvania stainless steel safety lock wire. For maximum weatherproof durability, this popular body sports 5 coats of polyacrylic crystal clear. Top coat and airbrushed layers of yellow, hints of green, and a black scale pattern. The decal colors in this commemorative logo were extracted from an actual photo of a smallmouth bass. The pectoral fin decal was chosen from an illustration of a smallmouth bass. Hand-selected Greyjoy 3D fishing eyes were carefully seated in pre-routed eye sockets. The designer's initials and official Cincy Fish Dudes logo were applied to the bottom because he always be promoting, yo. And that's what it says. He always be promoting, yo. That's super awesome. We like surprising each other. Paul, Cincy Fish Dudes, just hit 1,000 subscribers. And I made him a cake that looked like his emblem. I bought fondant. I've never touched fondant in my life. So I rolled out the fondant. We brought a chocolate mold and we made chocolate letters that said Cincy Fish Dudes. And then I took, we don't have a piping bag. So I put icing in a Ziploc and then just piped on the hook for his emblem. Super awesome. It turned out really awesome. So Paul, thank you so much. This is super awesome. It's going on my keys. I wanted to show that off today if I hit 2,000 subs, and I did. So thank you very much. That's pretty awesome. Anyway, yeah, thank you. Up a creek. Chuck says congrats on 2,000. Thank you, sir. All right, let's tie some more stuff. All right, we're going to go with a little bit smaller hook. This is a Bass Bug number 8. You can see finger style. It's still a good sized bass hook. So not a small hook by any means. All right, so if you guys have made it this far, I want to be able to offer you guys something. It's really cool, right? If you like what you see and you are interested in possibly wanting to get into fly tying yourself, I want to pass on that gift to you, and I want to show you something. So give me like 30 seconds. I'll be right back to show you guys this. All right, check it out. I want to pass these on to you guys because a friend passed them on to me, and I very greatly appreciated that. And I don't want to make any money off these. So if you want one of these, we're just going to figure out shipping. I'll ship it to you. So basically, whatever the cost of like an envelope and to ship it to wherever you are is. Usually, I think I've sent these before, and they were like $12 to ship, and maybe like a couple bucks for an envelope. So like 15 bucks. I'm going to get this to you guys. It is an entire vise tying kit with vise and all the tools like you see I've got here. Scissors, whip finishers, the bobbin holders, the hackle pliers, hair stackers, all that stuff. Now this isn't as high quality, a vise as I have, but it's still a good vise it's perfectly height adjusted, so you can crank it down wherever you want. And then this is the vise that clips in to your table like mine is. You probably can't see mine. Let's see. I got mine just clamped onto a table here. Let's see. Instagram, can you see that? Maybe. I just got it clamped onto the table. So you've got thread, scissors. Basically, I mean, everything to get you started. Really all you need is this, a pair of scissors, and a whip finisher. Those 3 things will get you started in fly tying. If you're interested and you want to get one of these, hit me up on a DM. I'll get you my PayPal info, and we'll get you fly tying. We can actually fly tie together. when you guys see me on live, you can bust out your fly tying kit and we can tie lures together. I'll bring you on live on Instagram. We can tie some stuff up. But I got blessed with like over 100 of these. And like I said, I don't want to make any money off them. I just wanted to give them away and give them to you guys. So if you're interested in that, hit me up on the DM, probably on Instagram. That's the best way to reach me. And we will get it together and get it out to you. I don't know what the retail on these things are. I assume a fly tying vise, like a basic one, would be $30 by itself. And then all the tools, another 20, 30. And then you got, I mean, there's thread in it, four packs of thread. There's some feathers and all kinds of stuff. It's probably, I don't know, $75 worth of stuff. Just pay for shipping and I'll get you guys some stuff. What's going on, everyone that's joining on Instagram? We are tying up flies right now. All right, so the next, what did I say we got? The Bass Bug number 8 from Allen Fly Tying. That's the hook we're going with right now. Let's go ahead and tie on a little body. That hook is not on there tight enough. Let's adjust our vise. That's more like it. All right. This is probably one of my favorite lures that I tie up. I call it the dragon tail because that's what it ends up looking like. So I'll let you guys pick a color. Green, red, or black. So basically this is a tail that's going to come off the back of the lure. And this thing has such amazing wiggle. It's almost like throwing like a trick worm out there. If a trick worm had good like back body action. So there we go. We got kind of a green pumpkin, a red, and a solid black. Throw your votes in the comments and we will tie on the one that gets the most votes here. Green, black, red. For winter fishing, I personally, I'm leaning towards red because I think red is a good winter craw color. Black could also be good because the water sometimes gets a little murky. But I mean, I think they're all pretty decent. You guys throw out a color. Steve says green. Who else we got? Mike says red. Here we go. We got one green and one red. And I think we're going to tie on some eyes to this. We're going to make the body just kind of basic. We're not going to fill the body too much. Maybe we'll give it some yarn fluff, but it's going to be a tail, some eyes, and just a little bit of body. We got Water Rat Lyle says red. We got 2 for red. I think red might be the one. Last call. There goes black. Last call, there goes green. All right, red it is. I like that. Red's a good crawl color. So basically this stuff it's just a really pliable, I think there's like almost like fishing line inside this. So it's very, very wiggly and pliable. So you can see how that would be awesome in the water. Right? So, and it's almost like shoestring kind of melted at the tip here. So I'm going to take a good chunk of this. I'm going to put almost that shoestring to the tip of the eye there, right? So when I start tying, I am tying almost where the hook point is touching. And then this stuff doesn't matter because it's just adding like fluff to the body. So we're just going to tie that into the body here. Gives a little bit of bulk. Right? And then we're going to work our way back down. towards the body. This is all going to be hidden by that fluff we're going to do. All right, now we're going to take our little pincher, keep this guy up out of the way. All right, let's see. What are we going to do next? Let's do the body next. What do we want to tie for the body? I'm thinking a little deer hair, a little bucktail. All right, I'll let you guys pick the bucktail as well. So these are actual tails of a buck. So we've got kind of a burnt orange. We have got a bright red. We've got natural, which is just the bucktail, like a whitetail deer. So it's like white and brown. And then we've got solid black. I think I'm going to go black because I really like the contrast of the black and red. If that doesn't scream crawl, I don't know what does. Oh, I lost all my skirting in the garbage. When I first got into bucktails, everyone warned me that these things smelled like crap. Wherever these come from, they don't. Where is this from? Hairline Dubbin LLC. Good on you for not having stank bucktails. All right, we are going to take a little pinch here, not much. We're going to take a little pinch, and then I'm going to show you guys another tool that's used in fly tying. All right, so I got a little pinch right there. And then what we've got here is called a hair stacker, right? So the hair stacker, basically, put your hairs in there, and then you just kind of slam it. And what that does is it gets all the hairs at their base perfectly aligned. Now, you're going to have a couple loose ones in there willy-nilly, but for the most part, these are all going to be tied up. Now, deer hair, bucktail is hollow, so it adds a little bit of buoyancy. So I do one loop, two loops, and you can see I give a little bit more tension each time, right? And then three loops, and I really give it some tension. And then what I want to do is I want to move this hair around so it kind of spins. And then you basically brush it kind of backwards. And this stuff looks like it's kind of bulky and bushy, but we give this stuff a haircut at the end. And it gives it some nice shape, right? And so you repeat that process until we make it up to the head of the lure. All right, bucktail goes in the hair stacker. That's what you don't want to do. I don't know what the red thing is called. I call it a dragon tail. Hold on. I threw away the packaging. I think they're called dragon tails, so I just called my tie up a dragon tail just because it looks like a dragon tail. It's kind of cool. I think if you Google fly tying dragon tail, that thing should come up. A little bit more bucktail. We're going to get all the way up to the head of this thing, and then we're going to tie on some eyeballs. And then we are going to call it a day of fly tying. Tell you what, this bucktail is not easy to hold. Got a pinch of bucktail going. Put it in this little stacker here. Just give it some bounces. Basically, it's like kind of when you tap a deck of cards and you want to get them all straight to each other. Boom. And then all the ends are perfectly lined up to each other. So the first tie is a little loose, Then the second tie, you get a little bit of tension. And then what I like to do is just kind of pinch down on the top of this, and it helps rotate some of that hair around to the bottom of the lure. Then just kind of brush this back, and then you tie in front of it. Now, when you tie in front of this deer hair, what it does is it kind of flares the deer hair out behind it. I think one more pinch of this stuff and we should be good. We're going to do one small pinch, then we're going to trim this all up, and it's going to kind of give it a little bit better shape and flair to it. Hello. Here, the cat. All right, stack this up, Deer hair stacked. Last little bit. Pinch that in. 1, 2. Yeah, Steve, I think you could put the hair on either way. I'm only doing it the way that I see the pro fly tyers do it. And mine doesn't come out even close to as good as theirs. All right, we're gonna whip finish this. I don't think I've got room for eyes, so I'm gonna go ahead and leave this as a, this will be weighted separately. I found that I can weight these almost like you do like a Texas rig, and they swim and they work perfectly. So I think this is the way I'll work this one. All right. Now with the buck tail, I have like one of these little pipe cleaners, and so the buck tail will definitely shed. Not all of it gets tied in. Some of it will come out. So you brush this out. Get all the loose hairs. Yeah, you could use a split shot. I like throwing on like a little 1/8 ounce or like a little 1/8 ounce bullet style weight, like you Texas rig. All right. Now here's what I like doing, how to shape these up. So here's our hook point down here. So I flip this upside down. And what I do is I basically trim this to almost follow, almost like jig skirting or the jig protectors. Let me just shape this up a bit. Almost give it some tapering. I think I'm going to tie here at the head a little bit to give me a little bit better shape. Much better. Here we go. And then just basically going to trim away. Make sure you don't trim your line. Trim away from the eye head or the eye hole. Make sure you can get a line through there. And then we're just going to trim up down under the hook. There we go. Now we got a dragon tail. So we had a lure we can throw with basically a weight up on that. You can see it's got a big old lion's mane looking thing. Look at that bad boy. This is our dragon's tail. Just something I made up. You guys can get creative with it. Tie up whatever you want. Again, if you guys want to grab you one of these fly tying kits, hit me on a DM on Instagram and I will get you one of these. All you got to do is pay shipping. I don't want to make money off these. I just want to make sure you guys have the ability to tie flies if you're interested in doing that. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for getting me to 2,000 subs. You guys are completely awesome. Thank you to Cincy Fish Dudes for my keychain. That is baller, sir, indeed. I will see you guys on the next Fishin' Mission. See you guys.